The freedom of being disliked, a quietude story for the people pleaser. There is a specific frantic energy to the way we move through the world when we're trying to be pleasant. It's a full-time performance, a constant calibration of the soul. We treat our reputation like a delicate glass ornament that we have to carry through a crowded subway station at rush hour. We are terrified that if we bump into someone, if we're too loud, too sharp, or too much, the ornament will shatter and we will be revealed as the one thing we are taught never to be, a person who is disliked. We spend our days as amateur linguists, translating our true thoughts into the dialect of polite cooperation. We say things like, "I see your point," when what we actually mean is, "That is the most profoundly stupid thing I have ever heard." We select our opinions like we're choosing an outfit for a court appearance, something neutral, something that doesn't scream, something that says, "I am safe to be around." We have become the HR department of our own personalities, sanitizing every interaction until we are as inoffensive and as flavorless as a piece of unbuttered toast. But then one day, the inevitable happens. Someone decides you're a villain. Perhaps you were too successful and it made them feel small. Perhaps you weren't successful enough and it made them feel superior. Maybe you said no to a request that was framed as a favor, or maybe your personality simply rubbed against theirs like sandpaper. Sometimes it's even pettier. They don't like the way you hold your coffee cup, or they've decided your vibe is suspicious. It doesn't really matter why. What matters is that the ornament has shattered. They've told their friends you're difficult. They've filed you away in the mental cabinet of people who don't get it and slammed the drawer. And suddenly, in the wreckage of that moment, you realize something shocking. The ceiling didn't fall in. The air didn't leave the room. Your heart is still beating, and for the first time in a decade, you are remarkably, dangerously light. Being liked is an exhausting piece of administrative work. It requires you to be a mirror, constantly reflecting back the version of yourself that makes other people feel comfortable. When you are the likable one, you're essentially a public utility. You have to be available, you have to be agreeable, and you have to keep your jagged edges tucked firmly inside your sleeve so nobody gets scratched. You spend your life apologizing for the space you take up, as if your existence is a clerical error you're trying to talk your way out of. You are the host of a party that never ends, and you're too tired to keep the appetizers coming. But once you are disliked, the contract is cancelled. You've been fired from the job of managing their opinion of you. You no longer have to wonder if they'll find your jokes too dark or your ambitions too loud. They've already made up their mind. You're free to be the protagonist of your own life instead of a supporting character in theirs. You can finally stop the internal rehearsal. You can say the thing you actually mean, because the worst-case scenario, their disapproval, has already happened. It's like being a ghost in a haunted house. You can finally stop trying to hide under the floorboards and start rattling the chains. There is a medicinal power in the realization that you're not for everyone. We are taught that being universal is the goal, but universal is just another word for bland. A person who is liked by everyone is usually a person who has smoothed themselves down until they have no texture left. They are a glass of lukewarm water. They are a suggested for you algorithm that only shows you things you've already seen. But you're allowed to be a flavor that some people find too strong. You're allowed to be a book that someone starts and decides not to finish because the themes are too challenging or the prose is too sharp. That isn't a failure of your writing. It's a matter of their limited vocabulary. Think of the sheer amount of energy you've wasted trying to negotiate with people who are never going to understand you anyway. You've been trying to translate your soul into a language they refuse to learn, hoping that if you just found the right word, they would finally see the cathedral inside you. But some people aren't looking for a cathedral. They're looking for a crack in the sidewalk they can point at to feel better about their own feet. When you let them dislike you, you hand them that crack and you walk away. You leave them to their small, cramped judgments, while you go out into the wide, cold, beautiful world where you can finally hear yourself think. It's a lonely freedom at first. It feels like a cold wind. You'll see them in the distance, whispering in their circles, and you'll feel that old, panicked urge to run over and clarify yourself. You'll want to explain that you aren't the monster they've invented. You'll want to show them the good parts of your resume and prove that you're a team player. Don't. Let them have their version of you. Let them keep the cardboard cutout they've made in your image. It's much lighter for them to carry than the real thing, and it leaves you free to move in the opposite direction. There is nothing more terrifying to a small-minded person than someone who is perfectly comfortable being the villain in a story they didn't write. The most powerful version of yourself isn't the one who has mastered the art of the polite nod. It's the version that can stand in a room, know that they aren't wanted and feel absolutely fine. It's the version that has realized that other people's discomfort with your truth is a them problem, not a you problem. You're not a project to be approved by a committee. You're an undeniable physical fact. You are a mountain, and the mountain does not apologize to the hikers for being too steep. So let the bridges burn. The light from the fire makes it much easier to see the path ahead. You can stop being the mirror, you can stop being the apology, you can finally be the person who is too much, too loud, and entirely too real for some people to handle. You can finally go home to yourself. The air in the room has settled, the clocks are ticking and the world is moving on without needing anything from you. You can let go of the handle now. You're home.